part one was concluded. We were cut short right when Pastor Marlon was sharing from his personal experience being a pastor and of course being affected. How is he being affected and how is he coping? All right, thank you very much, Peter. Good points, good points. Who want to jump in? I've seen people like the Tusty.
But we get upgraded, man.
Yes, I
Yeah,
just
man.
upgraded.
Eric,
So now you
yeah,
can.
Well done,
I want to
Eric.
say some things here.
Yes, man. Come through, Noel.
Go through, okay.
Yeah.
All right, undoubtedly, you know, this whole thing is a conspiracy. Let's don't play here, right?
Yeah.
The New World Order goes way back to the time when the United States got its independence in the year 1776, when, you know, a said organization was formed, and their plan was the abolition of the family, the abolition of private property, inheritance, the abolition of all, you know, ordered forms of government and all ordered forms of religion. And they have spawned many different institutions over the years. And of course, we go back to after the Second World War, the development of the League of the Just and the United Nations and institutions like the World Health Organization. Now, Pastor Marlon made reference to the New World Order, and several of you, and some of you even threw out the idea of conspiracy theories. And the general concept of conspiracy theory now is that conspiracy theory appears to be, just 1 minute, right? I'm on a call right now. No, don't stop. I'm on a call right now, right? Yeah, so conspiracy theory seem to be something that is fake, something that is mad and crazy. But if you Google conspiracy theory, you will see they tell us in tons and hundreds of articles that most of the conspiracy theory that people look in a derogatory way literally happened. And I want you all to take a look at this book. The Healing Codes, Biological Apocalypse by Leonard Horowitz. He wrote several books, and I can call from off my head. AIDS and the Ebola, Emerging Viruses. This book here, Murder by Injection. HIV was actually genetically engineered. Two different viruses, they pulled together and recombining technology, right? What is called the Hunter virus, not the Hunter virus, the Marburg virus. Sorry. The Visna virus and another virus, I forget it right now, right? In gene splicing technology when they developed HIV. You look at the World Health Organization bulletin for the year 1970, 1971 there, and you will see where they recommended to introduce or to develop. In fact, let me quote it for you. It says here, 1972, an attempt should be made to see if viruses can in fact exert selective effects on the immune function. The possibility should be looked into that the immune response to the virus itself may be impaired if the infecting virus damages more or less selectively the cell responding to the virus. And this is documented, right? That's how HIV started. And they actually mapped the demographics of how it spread in places like North America, Haiti, Brazil. How it got to Africa, Central Africa, Zaire, was through smallpox vaccination. In the book Protocols to the Learned Elders of Zion, they said that they will wear out the masses. They said that they will create confusion. They said that they will have the people clamoring for a new world order, for a one world order. So it is factual, as the guy made reference to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They make large contributions to the World Health Organization in donations as a humanitarian organization, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and also the National Institute of Health. And when you do the research, you see a video by past President Obama talking about a virus to come, some type of influenza virus that will decimate the population. You see George Bush Jr. talking the same thing, doing a video about a virus to come. Is it by coincidence? You see Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a businessman, a multi-billionaire. Bill Gates is into computer technology. Is Bill Gates a virologist? Now Bill Gates sound like he's an expert on viruses, and he knows and he can work out the projections exponentially of how many persons will be killed and telling us we should prepare for this and this. That is not by coincidence, it's not by chance. So when you investigate the origin of the virus, you see the virus is a hybrid virus. All these top virologists and bacteriologists telling us it came from the wet market with this monkey and bats and snakes. Total hogwash, total rubbish.
All right, Noel.
There's documented, let me just finish this.
Yes,
There's
quick, quick, quick.
documented evidence showing that the virus cannot spread that way. The virus, what it did, they edit this SARS virus and the spikes in it, the glycoprotein, they included HIV virus in it to develop this new coronavirus.
All right.
And in this way, it attacks your lungs. So the fact of the matter is there is a conspiracy on the foot. And I'm saying again, as an independent nation, as a republic, we must do our independent research, not just trust in the World Health Organization. And let's keep the quarantine until we have evaluated all the facts so we can know how to open up the country. We must also investigate natural medicine as an alternative to vaccines and drugs. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much. A good point. And I like how you swing it back because I wanted to bring it back there. Because that's the whole thing. Now, I have an interesting comment from somebody on the live stream, Mr. Edward Camps. I am very worried about the lawyers who are doing their best to encourage people to go against the stay-at-home order. Why do we have to tell big people to do what is right? Let me hear your comments on that. There are lawyers, based on what the viewer is saying, there are lawyers who are making it their business, and I like the word, to encourage people to go against the orders. Now, it's one thing if you're trying to sway the government, to tell the government, listen, I feel we should do this, that have that dialogue with the government. But while the procedure is in place to be inciting people to go against the rules, that's a whole different matter. Now you have some legal implications coming there, because if the rules is stay home and breaking the rules could have consequences, you are inciting people to break the rules. That's our next different thing against. Let me hear that. Come in.
I
I'm gonna come in,
was.
Derek.
All right, go ahead,
Come in
speak
on
up.
that there.
Agbe,
Alright.
let me ask Spring
Um.
first. Let me ask Spring first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now remember that we would have discussed that earlier today, and I'll find that Mr. Camp's question is valid. But this morning on one of the radio talk shows, Mr. Martin Daly, senior counsel, was interviewed. Now this is a man who over 50 years in legal practice. He was a former independent senator and so on and so on. Now we have to remember something, right? That most of the laws drafted in all parliaments across the world drafted by lawyers. So they go have a bias. And lawyers always, even down to all the constitution, and lawyers always put laws in legalese, in legal jargon, and within that they create loopholes. And he said something that was very interesting. He said that he is adhering to the stay-at-home order and he understands the government position. But when you look at it, the rights of the few cannot outweigh the rights of the many. And what you find was that, listen, the government is trying moral suasion, but when you have no law that expressly forbids people from moving about, which is their right in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sections of our constitution, then there's nothing that could really be done. But what he was saying, and I agree with him, is that common sense has should, not the word, should take precedence over what you may want to do. Now I want to go back to Mr. Samuel. I mean, we have people from all walks of life. Yeah, he's a
Yes.
businessman. He's a business owner. He has people who depend on him. He also, you know what I mean. Now you have to consider people such as that, right? They're suffering right now, and the government has put in what they consider to be expanding the social net, right? But this, what I'm saying is based on the what's happening in the world today, and with the collapse of the oil price. And I mean, I understand the first part of it because that was simply a question of one futures trading period coming to an end, and and people had to get rid of excess stock. But because that manufacturing has dropped to such an unprecedented level, the supply is outweighing the demand. So that is why the West Texas went to where it went. We have the Brent, and Brent is also falling. Now, in terms of the aspect of trying to persuade people to stay home. Now, I am saying that the government does not want to call an SOE because of what happened in 2011 and when our SOE was called by the last regime. But like I stated earlier, yeah, it's two different situations. One situation was an attempt to deal with runaway crime or a spike in murders over a weekend. This, what we're facing now, is a pandemic outbreak of which this is a disease that we have no vaccine, we have no cure, right? In fact, going back to the medical staff, I watching every night on the international media how medical staff crying and beseeching people, please stay home. What we're seeing with this disease, and this is from everybody, from even the most highly trained virologists, epidemiologists, even Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx, who on President Trump panel, nobody knows how to treat with this because of how it is new, how it is novel. You understand? And until we get a regime to treat with it, we have to, it's just hit and miss. That's what going on here. We're back to medicine, how medicine was 150 years ago before the explosion of viruses, right? Where we hope that wherever comfort we could get to the patient, we will depend on the patient's body to fight wherever this virus is. And that is basically what it is. So in terms of the point of getting people to stay home, I am saying that because of the fact that it's coming from people who should know better, I expect that if the government extends the lockdown to beyond the end of this month, we will see challenges like what happened in America now, people coming out and protesting and not social distancing and saying, hey, open up the place, open up the place. We don't believe that. And the fact of the matter is, to me, the people who pushing this agenda of opening up, their whole thing is to make the effort of this administration look bad and with an eye towards two elections. You have a Tobago House of Assembly election in 2021, you have a general election. And I just want to end by saying, in South Korea, they had an election last week, Tuesday. Before the COVID-19 outbreak in South Korea, that government was in trouble. You know what happened? Because of their handling of the situation in South Korea, that government was returned to power with a larger majority. Right? So people have to take an open mind to this thing and realize that, listen, one side means good for all of us, and one side has a narrow focus, and choose which one makes more sense. I could say which camp I am and which makes more sense to me. But I'll leave that up for discussion here and generally in the country. Thanks.
Thank you, Anson. Thank you, Agbe, as well.
Come on.
Samuel, I see how
Yeah.
your finger up. You want to say something?
Yes. Eric, Mira will tell you that I operated in the highest level of security in this land for years, highest level. There isn't anything that happens that we don't have a clear vision of what it is about. The purpose of a lawyer is to debate. So they could debate on this side today, and they could debate on that side tomorrow. So what is happening is that when you look at the lawyers, for instance, the PLM have lawyers like anybody else. Everybody have lawyers, and they knew very well that what action they were taking was not a legal action. There's nothing gray in law. It's black and white, right through in law. Nothing but gray. So once you take in an action and you're pushing it as a legal action, it is a dangerous thing. If you look at the wrecking of vehicles, you as a policeman, a fast policeman would know, Eric, that you had to have a certain rank to be on the wrecker in order to wreck somebody's car. and you have to make adequate search for the person before you wreck. Have you ever seen that done? I show all you see is wreck a back, bang, bang, pick up your car and go on with it. You see it all the time. So we have to stop taking illegal action to make me feel illegal. We have to stop that. Why can't Rowley and Kamala and the whole bunch of members of parliament get together and make some serious action? Without knowing opinion and feeling, that thing had to throw down the drain. That's why I become emotional when I talk about this because I know how it operates. I thank you.
Thank you, Sam. I want to bring back Agbe, Keshwa, Eddie, or Spring and on this piece because all four, I mean I too, but as the host I ain't going to jump in, but I want to hear them because they also pass through the police service, so they could also talk from a legal perspective, etc., etc. We know we have we have a quarantine oh gosh,
Act.
we have the quarantine
Quarantine Act.
right, and then recently with this COVID thing there was an order that was put out,
Public health
etc.
ordinance.
Thank you. Right. So, with that in mind, how does that factor in with what Samuel is now saying about not being legal?
But it are three issues here. We are legal, we are lawful, and we are sensible.
Good.
All right.
Nice.
I remember back in the days, for those of us who existed then, Dave Elcock used to say, you want to be dead right? I don't want to be dead right. Because I ain't finished what I come here to do yet. I had to leave a legacy. Right? So who want to be dead right and argue with Lord Davis? Them three fellas and them have an agenda. Right? I heard one of them, I heard him on 104.7 on Monday morning. And I started to wonder if he was educated in Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? And yes, there are loopholes in the law. There are always loopholes in the law. But why are you going to agitate the masses? Which when you take the M off, you know what you have to come out here and contaminate people who are playing it safe, who think they have much to lose. Like I said earlier, we don't know what this beast is. Before, when this thing now started, they wasn't saying to wear masks. Now they're advising you to wear masks. I took a chance and I went out today at Price Mart. And I felt as if I was in a dustbin or something. Because I was wondering, who have it? Who do have it? What? As I reach home, I change all my clothes and go and bathe with hot water and put my clothes to wash. Because I know I stand to lose. I have patients here. You understand? And they have underlying illnesses. If I lose them, I lose business. If I lose them, I lose business.
Correct.
And everybody starts thinking that way. Self-preservation comes first. So if you're thinking about preserving yourself and your family, we shouldn't have issues about unlawful actions outside of it.
And you know why that is so? Things are now coming out with now wearing masks is because they're now discovering more things about the virus as it even mutates. So that's why we have to be more cautious because it mutates and you know
what the
mutation process. So you know we have to be sensible.
Yes.
Yeah, mommy.
Hey, who's that one? All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a real enlightening conversation. So let me give you all some last words.
Like I said, we have to do it continuously because there's so many things that we could talk about from way back when this thing now started.
Now we will have more. We will have more. Trust me. I guarantee you we will have more of these. But just to close this off, just to close this one off, I see my partner coughing in the cough. I never really noticed that. You understand? He coughing in the
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
And you realize instinctively because he talking casual and he just and right in the elbow there one time. And that is because when
Change
you
the
make certain
behavior.
This is
things
the
a
new
habit.
normal.
Exactly. When you
Yep.
make you
Change the behavior.
internalize from a long time. So it's easy to adapt and adopt. But that is our next problem we had to deal with, the mindset. I think it's Keshwa talk
Yep.
about that early. The mindset of our
Yeah.
people is a serious thing. So let me give you all guys, everybody, our last word where this thing is concerned. Let me start from Ashley. We start from I'm looking at how my screen laid out. So Ashley and her friend. Don't mind your Ashley is a Trini.
Off camera.
Don't mind your outside. You're in a Trini. You're here. You're a Trini. So let me start with you guys. You and your friend. I forget his name. Sorry.
Jamal.
Jamel. Let me start with you guys. Last words.
Before I give the microphone again to him, I just wanted to share this thing. So something that's like just one of those things where it's like, what's really going on? Like, it's like, what are we even supposed to say? Like, my friend sent me this, and
Yes,
it's
I saw
about,
this.
yeah, and it's the same picture in LA Beach, and the same photo. They said this is for LA, as in Jacksonville. And so there's another one that I saw from like Italy to I think New York or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like, you know, I just want to take all my papers and be like, what's truth anymore? You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share that. And my cousin's a nurse in the U.S. and I was asking her like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? How many cases have you seen? She goes, if I say anything, I can lose my job. And I'm like,
Wow.
there's something to be said about what's going on with that, you know?
These things are normal. There's a video. I saw it posted like a couple weeks ago, and I saw it started making the rounds, and it was of this guy, this individual, and this is a guy or a girl that jumped from a building. So it started with the crowd and who mumbling and stuff, and you see this person jump from the building and he hit the ground, taps. And they were basically trying to say that is what is happening now as a result of COVID. That video came out since the World Trade Center thing. I remember seeing that video. And you have a lot of scenarios that people pulling things from way far back. And try, because it fits. Yeah, exactly, you understand? Because it fits the narrative. And even just hold on. Now I posted a question in a chat the other day. We seen a ton of 5G, or I should say anti-5G stuff. And people trying to link the 5G with the virus and this and no problem. Here's my simple question.
Yeah.
How come nobody is saying, okay, 5G is this, it is dangerous, it could this do it, it could do this to you, whatever. But here's what you could do as an alternative. So we're being bombarded with all the negatives. What you could do for you against you, how you go kill you, your family thing, your life, whatever. All the bad things about it. But at the same time, nobody is telling you, okay, since this is what you will have to live with from now on, here's what you could do now to protect yourself, to protect your family, to fix, you know. So I have to wonder, is it that there's nothing we could do? Or is it that there are things that we could do, but they're just not telling us? But instead they're bombarding us with all the, how it could kill we and how it could, you know, make it this and whatever. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We have to be mindful. We cannot put our head in the sand and pretend that there is not a conspiracy. Now, the specifics of the conspiracy, we could debate, but I think beyond the shadow of a doubt, anybody want to say there is no conspiracy, they had their head in the sand.
Conspiracy makers could create conspiracy theories to it.
True. They do actually. Yeah. But that was my closing remarks.
But discussion in a particular way.
Yeah. So we're going around. So I was next to Ashley. So let me go to Eddie now.
I just start to think.
Sorry. No. Sorry, Jamel. I forget.
It's possible to bend the matrix. This is the matrix we live in. People don't know.
Correct.
They have a perception.
They have to unplug.
They have a perception. They have you. That's all. And they have most of the whole perception, 90%, and they have a sleeper. So So I like this panel there. Every week.
Which one you're taking? Which one you're taking? The red pill or the blue pill? The red pill or the blue pill? You understand?
What about if I create my own pill and when it's our will?
I like that. I like that.
Because we are human beings. I will add my next session.
I hear it says about every week. Are you instigating that we should do this every week?
Yeah, why not? Because a lot of people need to wake up and see it. Because a lot of people using TikTok business.
Yeah, boy.
And that's digital thing.
Yeah.
And things are emerging all the time.
Exactly.
Correct.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. So you can add me and ask me.
All right.
I'm good with that. I'm glad to hear people on the same page. Everybody says different view, but it comes back to the same road.
Yeah. I wish I could get on camera though, but we go deal with that. So I'm gonna go. Right, that's what we're talking about. Nice.
Yeah,
all right, cool, man.
I'll give you a contact. So.
All right, good. Lovely. Thanks for being on, man. Let me take Eddie now. Edward.
Yes.
Peter. Yeah.
Right. As a true patriot, what I would like to see for Trinidad and Tobago is that we start to look at what is moral and take the common sense approach.
For real.
This legal thing, and the legal thing is heading along a particular line, right? Because if you're telling me that you want to go legal because a man can't sell doubles and a man can't open a bar, I have friends who have a food business, right? Both of them are couple employed in a food business. They have their own food business and they have had to shut down. Yeah. I have friends who work at the hospital and are afraid to go to work for fear that they may catch this virus, they may get this virus, right? And these are the things that we have to factor in, right? You know, because God forbid, if this thing should spread further and we end up with 500 cases in Trinidad and Tobago, right? The limited resources that we have here in the health sector. I've heard the health minister went on the media and talk about the amount of money that is spent on just PPE alone to treat with these patients.
On one person.
On one person. Question is, can we afford that? Right? So I pray and I hope that we seriously adopt the common sense approach. Forget what is legal. This is not a legal thing. Right? We're using moral suasion. Mr. George, thanks for
All right.
When you say
so Muriel is next. Muriel, talk to me. Last words.
Sorry?
Last words.
The whole thing is that we have to protect ourselves. Things will never be the same. Think about 9/11. Traveling never was the same. Things will not be the same, so we have to just adjust, but we have to be sensible, and we don't know what is happening, we have to listen, act, behave ourselves, forget cabin fever, stay inside.
Thank you. Agbe.
Yeah, there is a case of some staff at Eric Williams Medical Complex who contracted COVID-19 from a patient who was treated for cardiac problems, and she never reported her travel history.
Correct.
And except for persons who have intimate knowledge via persons who work there, persons don't know it wasn't reported. It is scary, it is real. What I want to see is them 3 attorneys hug up their clients and treat with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't go by the health authorities when you catch your thing. Deal with it.
And deal with it.
Yeah.
Go in the bush.
Yeah. Anson, let me hear you.
Well, Eric boy, I want to tell you thanks for the opportunity. It's good. Perhaps it's because it was a mature panel and because it was people who have an open mind and we have no agenda. And I think that is what we need to push the narrative now. Because this is an existential threat to humanity, to Homo sapiens. It's the biggest one we have ever faced. And I think, well, since the last 100 years, right? Because the last time the world faced something like this was the Spanish flu from the end of World War One up to 1920, 21,
And
right?
50 million people
And
died, yeah?
thank you. And
Ah,
the thing about that is that the same thing with that is that they had cabin fever and people was fed up and they come outside. And
Yeah.
when it was 5 million dead in the first wave, 15 million died in the first wave. You understand what I'm saying? And I am saying that I have, well, let me see how to put it the correct way. I'm satisfied with the government efforts so far, but we also have to take personal responsibility. And you know, if people would just think about this Stevie Wonder song, boy, love is in need of love today. If we had a spirit of love, not just for we family alone, but for mankind, I think we would do the, the right thing. But this is a great start, and I hope that what we trying to do here would mushroom into the common sense movement, according to Eddie. The common sense movement have to rule the day.
Yeah.
And I think once we keep that momentum going, it can only be better for all of us. And I'm hoping that at the end of all of this, that this group of people here, at least the ones who in Trinidad, we could meet together and break bread together in peace and love. Thanks again, brother.
Ashe,
Lovely,
Ashe,
lovely, lovely,
Ashe.
lovely, lovely. Noel, Emmanuel, Jack. That's not Noel, sorry. Right, go ahead.
Okay. It has been a good session, I would say. I just wanted to close by saying this. We are living in unprecedented times, and as it were, the games of thrones is playing out. The king of the north, which is to me, my understanding of prophecy and studies over the years.
The
And I am a
North
man.
remembers.
I am a man of the cloth as well. If you all don't know, the king of the north, which I consider to be false religion, and the king of the south, which I consider as godless atheism. That battle is going on right now. The king of the south, which is atheism, the New World Order, the environmental movement, the feminist organization, all these conspiracies and so on, it seemed to be winning. But the king of the north is going to fight back and is fighting back. And we see a movement all across the world of a political right movement where they are seeking to bring back morality in public life and to deal with all the evils that the king of the south is creating. And everything will change towards influencing America's constitution, where they will seek to bring about an international law that deals with your conscience and deals with worship. My personal opinion, based on research in the Bible. So while they're pushing towards a new world order, I believe that God Himself will slow it down and stop it, and will create a catalyst for each man to make up their mind who they will serve, whether it's God or man. In the interim, protect yourself. Do the research, dig deeper, eat healthy, use your natural herbs. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
brother.
Before Keshwa goes, Ashley, you have to leave. Thank you. Thank you. Feel free to
Nice
exit.
meeting you, Ashley.
All right. So you
Take
know I'm
care.
sending a link for the next one, cause right. So we'll talk. All right. Take care. Bye bye. Keshwa.
Yeah. Once again, Eric, I want to thank you for the invite. I have been. This has been an awesome experience for me. It's just awesome that people from every reach of life and country can sit in a forum and communicate in real time. This is just an awesome experience. Um, I would, all I have to say is I would err on the side of caution, and I'm going to take every effort or make every effort to protect myself and my family. Um, I know there are a lot of different theories about this out there. As I said before, I have experienced this firsthand with people that's very close to me and my family. So I would do everything within my power to be safe and to try and keep my family safe. I have been edified and entertained. I love you guys, and thank you very much for this invite.
Thank you, my brother, for being on. Game
Thank
of
you, thank you.
Thrones. Game of
Yeah,
Thrones,
brother.
my winter is coming.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
winter is
Oh,
coming.
hold on.
Let me hear. No, well, after Samuel, I'll do jump off yet. Samuel, let me hear you.
Yeah, back to you folks. I would more or less try to encourage people as much as possible to be safe
Yeah, well,
because of the fact that what no no we have to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, because of the fact that the legal people will play the game, you can't
Yep.
avoid that. Because on
That's
both
it, but
sides,
yeah.
will have adequate types of lawyers to advise them which way to go. The game with lawyers is to make money. What we need to do as IMAs, see what is possible that we can do to make money even though while we are home these days. So folks, be safe. I have been inside for the past 3 weeks. I went outside, I think, out the gate about 3 times so far. And I am prepared to go for another 3 months. I have already put things in place to do a 3 months lockdown. Most of my friends and family would have used the word panic buying. Over the years, we've been doing groceries once in 3 months. So now all I
Bulk
had to do
buying.
was to buy twice the amount. So
Right.
I am well
Yeah.
prepared for another 6 months run. Even my medication is 6 months available. I have put everything in place for a 6 months run. So I expect it to go 3 months comfortable. I
Yeah.
thank you and
Nice,
good
man.
afternoon to all.
Yeah.
thank
Yeah, brother.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't log off yet because let me be good. So I wanted to say a big. You all don't know how huge this is for me, for you guys to be on here, to trust me enough to come on here and not have me make a fool of you. So that is a big thing, right? So I want to say thanks to Mr. Peter Edwards. As I said, Peter Edwards. And for those of you who know my history, being a former member of the police service, Peter Edwards is one of what we call my batch. We train together. He is also a very prolific calypsonian. And when we're doing the session on the arts, yeah, we'll be talking about all kind of stuff. So when we're doing the session on the arts, Peter, you know you have to be there. You have to jump a little extempo. You and your boy Keshwa down in the bottom. Keshwa,
Yeah,
he's not
you
easy.
get that.
He's not
You get
easy
that.
now. You understand?
You
You
get that.
gotta, you
But I
gotta
want to
strum that
thank.
guitar, boy. You gotta strum that guitar.
You understand?
You
But I
gotta,
want to thank
you
all of
gotta
you
make that
guys.
guitar talk, Eddie.
Noel Emmanuel Jack. What I want to say is this, and this is actually what I want to focus on next session. I'm not too sure, and Peter will tell us, but I know Agbe talk about his business. I know Keshwa is involved in this thing. Noel Emmanuel Jack, he has his own business in Arima. Mr. Samuel George, Muriel is involved in business. Muriel is also a professor in UWI. But Muriel also has her own business. Muriel sells coffee and other products and all that. So everybody here is involved in some level of entrepreneurship. And that's the next thing I want to talk about, because in the midst of all this craziness, people, let me tell you a statement that I heard, why I decided I want to go this. A gentleman was on a live stream and he voiced concern about how employers are treating their employees and who are liable to not get back a job after this scenario and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't say it at the time, but I wanted to make the point. And this is my premise for starting the live stream. People need to understand that an employer owes you nothing. And at the end of the day, you could work with them for 50 years. They owe you nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, we might have certain laws that talk about pension or whatever. But really,
Pension is charity.
Like charity, they really owe you nothing. They're already paying you for your time.
No.
As they feel it is worth to them. And if it is, they feel in the interest of their business, they're paying too much for your service. You're not necessary. They let you go. But there is this perception that an employer owes you something. So they're supposed to be concerned about your welfare. That has a place in a certain perspective. But ultimately, an employer who owns a business, the bottom line is the survival of their business. And if it means doing so without you, guess what? You will walk. Therefore, we had to start thinking entrepreneurial. We had to start thinking like business people. Well, yeah, nothing wrong with having your job. Your work. All of us had a job at some point. But if you're going to base your whole life on that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 that come in on a monthly basis as a salary, you have a next thing coming, especially now.
We have to connect the dots. That thing I shared this morning. We have to connect the dots.
Yes.
If this is the start of connecting this is the start of connecting the dots for us, so be it, brother.
Yeah.
Let's connect the dots.
Yeah.
Right?
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much for being part of my panel, and for our viewers, thank you for joining on the live stream. I was looking at some comments. If you see me looking to the side now and then, because I have another computer on that side monitoring, and I was looking at some comments from a gentleman that I have high regard and respect for, who is on this live stream, dropping a set of comments, Mr. Edward Camps. Edward Camps was actually one of my trainers, for want of a better word, somewhat of a mentor, when I went to TTT to learn broadcast. And he was one of the senior...
Right. I remember you talking that.
Right, and he was one of the senior audio men at the then TTT. I don't know if with the whole shift, if he's there now or what happened. But he was one of the senior audio men there. And he basically took me under his wings to the point that as a LAN, when I had like a 9 months training, and when he found out that I used to do audio, he said, asked me a few questions. I realized I have a little thing, but of course I could learn more. So as I learn, and he used to say, hey, fellas, I gone. My relief come. And he let me go. But of course he would pass it now and then, check, make sure everything is all right. And very good, very nice gentleman. Very, very good human being. An awesome human being to be around. Eddie Camps, thanks for joining me on the live. Everybody else on the panel, thanks for joining me. Looking forward to having you on the next session. So, this is me.
Eric.
Yes.
Eric.
My lord.
One final thing.
Sure.
3 weeks ago, I celebrated my 71st birthday.
Wow.
And when you're talking about... No, serious.
Congrats.
And I really and truly live on one meal a day.
Wow.
A little coffee or a little fruit in between. But it's mostly one meal a day. So those red and blue and green pills, I don't know nothing about that.
Roger, Aries, mate?
Was it Peter who had that bottle in his hand just now, or Cash? One of you all was sharing.
Oh, that was Cash.
I saw the leader of Kenya put a Hennessy in a care package, so you may be onto something. Except that Hennessy doesn't have to the people. Except it doesn't have the level of potency, alcohol potency. Yeah. So maybe you're onto something there.
Right,
Malta was Springer.
Nice, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again. Looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you next time on Red.
One out.